who's hanging with Sula in Sula's kitchen. How you going, Mum?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. Today we're going to be doing Greek Easter biscuits, which are called koulourakia. This particular recipe is on the recipe community under my name, and it's called Thea Lili's koulourakia. Now, the reason it's been given that name is because this recipe comes from my great auntie, who is called Thea Lili. Thea is the word for auntie in Greek. Just to give you a little bit of a look into my mum's recipe books and her handwritten recipes, this is as it's been written. There's no method, there's just ingredients. So the method is all here, but it's now been written for you on the recipe community. For those of you that don't know, my grandmother is 110 years old and still alive and well. Now it's her sister who is my Auntie Lili. And this recipe is very close to our hearts. God rest her soul. We can now share it with you, and hopefully every time you make these biscuits, you can think of my auntie, who was such a lovely lady. Okay, Mum, we're going to get started?
Okay.
All right, so the first step is creaming your butter and your sugar. All the measurements are in the recipe that's on the community. We've got 250 grams of softened butter. We've got about 450 grams of sugar. You can use any sugar that you like. In this particular recipe, my auntie and my mum just use the white sugar. Now, keep in mind when you're using the Thermomix, I've got them pre-measured for ease and timing, but you can use our scale function for that. 2 minutes on speed 5, and that should be creamed beautifully. Okay, that's ready, Mum. How's that looking?
That's fine.
Creamed butter and sugar. Alright, so our next step is actually to add the eggs. We've got 6 eggs there, and in the recipe it does say to add them one at a time. I obviously kind of put them all in the same bowl, but we will attempt to do it one at a time. It's not a big deal if you don't. Speed 5 again. There we go. It's working. Okay. 2. Okay, so depending on how long that took you to put the eggs in, 30 seconds to a minute, but what you're going to get is a beautiful creamy texture. And at this point you can scrape down the sides just to make sure everything's incorporated. Alright, so now we've got the juice.
Orange juice, yeah.
Orange juice. Goes straight in. We've got the zest of 1 orange. And here's a little tip for you. If you wanted to actually grate the zest in the Thermomix, when you pop the sugar in before you put the butter in, just peel the orange rind, making sure there's no pith, in with the sugar, and just let it go for about, on speed 9, just chop it for about 10 seconds and you'll be right. That'll actually grate that right up for you. And we've got vanilla sugar,
Yeah.
which you can use vanilla essence if you want to instead.
We always use this one. So.
Yeah, this is what we always use, so we have to use the same. 1 teaspoon of vanilla sugar, which you can make yourself in your Thermomix. All right, this one, 30 seconds, roundabouts. Just clear my time. Okay, so I'm going to get Mum to put the flour in now. We're going to put the scales on. And Mum is going to measure out. We've got 1.2 kilos of flour here, self-raising flour, but we're only going to start with 500. Keep in mind, this is a huge batch of Easter biscuits because in our family we don't do anything in small amounts, do we, Mum? No. So it's a large amount. You can halve this recipe, which means you can finish it off all in the Thermomix. In this case, we're going to do the most part in the Thermomix, and then we'll need to get our hands dirty and do the remainder with our hands. All right, 500, Mum. Now normally when my mum does this recipe, most Greeks will use cups, either teacups or mugs, and they wouldn't be using a scale. They just do it with How do you usually say?
Metomati.
Metomati, meaning with your eye, just watch and then you can see how much more it needs, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so now we're going to put it on need function. And you'll actually notice if you come in here, my mum's changed the language to Greek, which you can do on your T5. Alright, so we've got our need function on. We're going to turn it on and mum's going to just keep putting in little bits of flour until we get to the consistency that we want. We may use it all, we may not. We'll wait and see. Metomati.
Metomati.
Alright, so we've put a little bit in. If you find that it's not kneading as well as you'd like it to, because there's a lot in here, just stop it and put it on speed 5 or 6 instead, so that you can get it turning and then you can start kneading when it gets to probably about this consistency here. Okay, so you can see it's gotten to a point now where I'm probably going to need to do this by hand because there's too much in there. But remember, if you halve this recipe, you can continue kneading it in the Thermomix. Alright, so this is where it's come to. We've put just some flour onto the kitchen bench and we're going to knead the rest of it here. Try and get out as much as we can.
Now you can put your hands into the flour
Okay.
and knead the rest.
Alright, hang on 1 second, I want to get all that off because I don't like leaving anything behind. So, as I've mentioned also in my hot cross bun loaf recipe, got out to speed 10, just for a split second, and then we can get everything off. See, look how much more comes out, Mum. Alright, dipping my hands in the flour, and you just want it to come together. I've got a studio audience today, children, who are going to double as my helpers.
Hi.
This is the part I hate. It's why I got a Thermomix. So if I was doing it at home, I'd halve the recipe so I could do it all in the Thermomix. Mum, is this killing you that you're watching me do this?
Oh, I wish I can do it.
I know, my poor mum, she's had an operation on her hand, which is why I'm doing all of the work today.
That's good.
Alright, so mum's taken over just to finish it properly with her good hand. But this is the consistency you want. We've used that whole 1.2 kilos, maybe plus maybe a handful more. And look at that. That's perfect. Slightly sticky, but not so that it remains on your hands when you're touching it. Beautiful. Okay, time for shaping. Mum, what shape are you doing?
I am doing a plait.
With just 3. So you start off with a T and cut the end off. That's there we go. Remember to enlist your helpers. Yeah, we can do it together with the promise of getting to eat them afterwards, hey?
Yeah.
Alright, so you do have to work quickly with the dough. It's definitely easier. Another shape you can do. And there you go. And if you wanted to, spatula George, thanks. If it's too long, you just cut it off. Okay, even the camera person and my dad have to help. Isn't that right, Dad?
C'è piccoluri.
Yeah,
Very big
maybe a
kuluri.
little bit big. Nice one, Nick. Yeah, Papu, you're messing it up.
Why?
Alright, so once you've got your tray of beautifully shaped biscuits, gulurakia, you're going to put some egg wash on top. Some people like to put some sesame seeds at this point after the egg wash, and then it goes into a 180-degree oven for how long, Mum?
Probably 15 to 20 minutes until they are golden brown.
Golden brown. Here we go, the end product. Beautiful Greek Easter biscuits called gulurakia. Thank you, Thea Lily, for that amazing recipe. Thank you, Mum, for letting us join you in your kitchen.
You're
For
welcome,
Easter?
Helen. You're welcome.
Happy Easter, καλή Ανάσταση.
Ευχαριστώ, αγάπη μου, επίσης.
And can't go without showing you the kids' designs. Thanks for hanging with Helen and don't forget to subscribe. You're hanging with Helen, who forgot to get the ingredients she needed for the dish. I'm coming. I'm coming. Even the camera person and my dad have to help. Isn't that right, Dad? Dad, isn't that right? Dad. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm showing you that. I can't do it. It's very cute. This is my mum's handwritten recipes that have been handed out. Oops, in the
Which is
sugar.
about 40 years old.
I'm coming. I'm coming.